What indicates that someone is moving forward in therapy?
Yeah, good question. It varies depending on what it is your goals are for therapy. People come to therapy for different reasons. And so, what moving forward looks like to you, what making advances in the goals that you have in therapy are going to look different from one person to another. And so, in good therapy, there's a alliance and there's a therapeutic agreement that's in place between you and your therapist, where you both know why it is we're here and what it is we're hoping to accomplish and what it is that we'd like to grow in and see be different through the time that we spend together. And so there's a real sense of these are the things that I want to make progress in, and am I making progress in those things? And what is it that is happening in therapy and outside of therapy that are helping me or going to help me make progress towards those goals? And so if the question is coming from someone who's in therapy and is asking that question, I'd encourage you to take that question back to the therapist that you're working with. Kind of go, can we have a conversation about where I'm at and where we're going and what we're working on? So that can be clear for you. And so that you can have an understanding of, okay, this is what I want to have be different. This is what I'm hoping to get out of our time together. And help me understand how what we're engaging here, how that fits with what it is that I'm hoping to get out of our time together, and just have that conversation with them. If you're not in therapy yet, you're kind of thinking about, okay, what does that look like, and trying to visualize and have some understanding about it. Have some conversation with yourself about what is it that I would hope to get out of that. What is it that I would want for the therapist, this person, inviting them into my life to help me sort through and make progress in? So that then as you do engage therapy, you're able to go, hey, here's kind of what I'm hoping for. Here's what I'm getting hung up on. Here's what I'm struggling with, or here's where I'm wanting to make advances in that maybe I'm in a good place. Maybe it's not a hurt or a hang up, but it's a want to improve performance. And I'm here, but I feel like if I had some perspective outside of myself, I could get here in my personal life, professional life, relationships, whatever the case may be. It equips you to then be able to have a good conversation and goal setting with the therapist that you're working for, and even make some determination about what kind of therapist you want to work with. Okay, because not all therapists are the same. Not all therapists specialize in the same kinds of presenting issues, difficulties. Different models and approaches are going to be more effective with different presenting issues or difficulties that someone's having. So having some clarity on some of those things for yourself really positions you better to get the most use out of and benefit out of therapy.
Yeah, this question even made me think, there's so many different layers to the things that you process and discover in therapy.
Mm-hmm.
And so moving forward in one piece that you're processing, might be happening, whereas in another one, there's still so much that needs to be done, and sometimes it really is just like, we got to work on this, and then we're going to get to this, and then we're going to get to this. And, it can feel very slow or like you're not moving forward. But in reality, you're just tearing down those walls that need to get torn down.
Definitely. There's a cumulative effect to therapy and like you're talking about, a segmenting of things that, how do you eat an elephant? It's kind of one bite at a time. And sometimes when we come in, we're like, ugh, there's so many different moving pieces, so many different layers to this. I'm just overwhelmed and don't know where to start. And a good therapist is going to be able to ask the right questions to help you be able to identify the different pieces and to do what we would call like triaging of sorts. I think like ER, right, in the hospital. If you are in a car accident or somebody's in an auto accident, accident and the ambulance kind of brings folks in on a stretcher into the ER, they're going to assess all of the different, maybe multiple wounds that are present, right? There may be cuts from glass and scrapes, or maybe bruises from being banged up around the vehicle. You may have a broken leg. You may have serious gashes, right? And there's an order to things in terms of what's most important to address first, right? You could start kind of setting a broken leg and trying to fix that. But if someone's bleeding out of an artery over here, they're going to be dead by the time you get the leg casted, right? And so you wouldn't want to cast the leg before addressing the life-threatening kind of issue. And therapy is like that sometimes. There's a lot of different moving pieces. We got to go, okay, what's the right thing to start with? Because you can't do everything at once. What's the right place for us to start? How do we have grace for the things that we're going to get to but aren't to yet in our life, and begin the journey towards the wholeness that we're looking for?
Yeah, for sure. Wow. Yeah. Therapy in my own life has been just so effective and so helpful for me to process through things, to grieve through things. And, moving forward kind of looks different for everyone. I mean, I think that, everyone's situation is different. Every counselor is different.
Yeah, I've had the same experience in my life and the therapy that I engage in, that, in working through at sometimes it's around hurts or wounds that have been a part of my story and helping me find healing and wholeness. And at other times it's been much more kind of forward looking and going, okay, I'm here, but I want to grow to here. Here's in this season of my life, the things that I'm maturing in and developing in, and having that space with somebody that's a gifted helper and kind of knows the right questions to ask and reflections to provide to help that draw me along that journey of what's happening in my life during this season. And so it's a really I have found it to be a really valuable part of my own process and growth journey.